Grace and peace. Welcome to Judah's Roar Domestic Violence Awareness Initiative YouTube channel. I'm your host, Apostle Cheryl. Before we get started, take a few seconds. I want you to check down here below the video, click that subscribe button, and then click the bell for notifications. And that way you'll be notified each time we upload a new video. We upload a new video every Sunday evening at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, thanks for taking the time to do that. Now listen, in part one, we talked about, dear survivor, manage your expectations. And in this segment 2, we're going to talk about how to manage them. Now, we started off by defining what expectations are and what manage means, what those two things actually means. It's important that we're all on the same page when we're talking about something so that actual communication can occur. So let's look at that. We're going to look at those definitions and then we're going to jump into the meat of part 2. Expectation is the act or state of expecting, anticipation. The act or state of looking forward to some occurrence. And it is the degree of probability, that's my favorite one, the degree of probability that something will occur. Now, some synonyms for expectation are anticipation, contemplation, and assumption. Assumption. Don't forget that one. Okay. Here are a few more synonyms for expectation. The chance, confidence, likelihood, hope, intention. Now, the Bible says that hope deferred makes the heart sick. Hope that is pushed off, hope that is interfered with, hope that is delayed makes the heart sick. And that can be found in Proverbs 13 and 12, part A. The opposite of expectation is disbelief, doubt, and unlikelihood. The word manage, because we're talking about how to manage your expectations. Manage means to handle or direct with a degree of skill. To handle or direct with a degree of skill. To exercise executive, administrative, and supervisory direction of. To make and keep compliant. Okay? To address, to contend with, to cope with, to grapple with, to handle, maneuver, or negotiate. Now, what I like about those synonyms is it makes it clear that it doesn't have to be an easy process, okay? That if you're talking about managing something, sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle. We talked about in part 1 why it's important as survivors to manage our expectations. What we're going to talk about in part 2 is a few more assumptions that are commonly made, and then some pointers on how to manage our expectations. And these pointers come from my own personal life experience, okay? The assumption that an abuser is in fact abusive for any other reason than the fact that he or she truly believes that they have a right to control another human being. If you believe, if you assume, if you expect that any other reason is a viable reason for an individual being abusive, that's an unrealistic expectation. Abusers are abusive because they can be. Abusers are abusive because they believe, they truly believe that they have a right to control another human being. Point blank, period, full stop. That's what they believe. The assumption that the abuser would never hit you, never harm your children, that they would only harm you and that they wouldn't harm your friends or your family or your parents or your pet, that they wouldn't harm themselves, or that they would harm themselves but not you or anyone else, are all very dangerous assumptions. Okay, so how does one manage their expectations? Number 1, identify and write down if you can do it safely. If you can put it in the notes section of your phone or however you can do it safely, but identify and write down each expectation that you have around your relationship. Okay? And if you're viewing this and you're out of a relationship, then identify and write down each expectation that you had around that relationship. If you're a survivor, a previous relationship. Okay? Next to that, identify the evidence that supports that expectation. What evidence is there to support the expectation? Where is the evidence to support the expectation that if I'm being cursed out every day, that it will never escalate to me being physically aggressed against? Where is the evidence that supports the expectation that my pets or my children are safe because the abuser only wants to harm me? Where is the evidence to support that? Okay. When we're talking about relationship expectations, we need to not only look at what we should be able to get. Okay, so here's the thing, and this is something that I struggled with before I was able to get free. There are many, many things that we should be able to expect in a relationship. We should be able to expect not to be cursed out. We should be able to expect not to be hit. We should be able to expect that we will not be financially abused or emotionally abused or psychologically abused. We should be able to expect that we will not be sexually abused. And that would be right if we could actually have those things, right? And so it's important that we differentiate between what we think we should be able to get from this individual and look at a couple of things. The first thing I want you to look at is this. Do they even possess what we think they should have in the first place? Where's the evidence to support that assumption? Do they even possess the ability to give me what I think I need? If I expect that I'm not going to be cursed out, and this individual has a potty mouth, is it reasonable for me to expect that at some point I won't get cursed out? Is that reasonable? Okay. Are they able to release it to me? Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence that at any point in their life they were able to do this? And are they willing? If they are truly willing, you won't have to fight to access it. You won't have to beg to access it. You won't have to have a come to Jesus meeting every 2 weeks. Okay? You won't have to have deep, long, gut-wrenching conversations repeatedly if they truly are willing. So what did I ask you to do? Tell yourself honestly, do they even have what it is you are expecting? Do they even possess it? If they do possess it, are they both able and willing to release it to you? Listen, if the answer to either one of those questions is no, you will never, ever access it. They can have it. They may have it and refuse to give it to you. They may have the ability not to cuss folks out. They go to work and they don't cuss those people out, right? They go to church, they don't cuss the pastor out, right? They come home and curse you out. So here's the thing. They may have the ability, but are they willing to extend that to you? One of the things that I learned is there are a couple of things that if I even have to have a conversation about it early on, that's the biggest red flag in the world. Why do I have to talk to this full-grown person about how to play nicely with others? Remember, I've shared in previous videos that what we tell ourselves is the most important thing. It's what we tell ourselves about what we've just experienced. It's what we tell ourselves about our circumstances that directs what we believe our options are. Our self-talk, beloved, is so important. So important. We're not even listening so much to what the other person is saying as what we tell ourselves about what they just said or what they just did that is truly, truly damaging. So I encourage you to resist the urge to lie to yourself. If you're stuck, you're stuck. Don't tell yourself that you're not stuck if you are stuck. You keep wanting to leave, but you can't. You keep wanting to leave if you're stuck. And if you're stuck, you're stuck. And that's part of the process. And a side note here, oftentimes, many of you have reached out to me when you're dealing with an abusive situation, when you're trying to exit safely, or once you have exited safely, and you're going through all these different stages, and then you kind of disappear. I promise you, you don't have to disappear, even if you went back. You don't have to do that. I am not going to judge you. I get it. I totally understand. My prayer for you is that you can live and exit safely, that you can live long enough to exit safely and rebuild your life and reclaim your voice. So, those of you who have reached out to me and have found yourself back with the abuser, entertaining conversations with them or whatever, you don't have to disappear. I'm not going to judge you. Matter of fact, I encourage you that you not isolate yourself. Don't do that. And if your decision to stay or to return is truly the best decision, then it will remain the best decision, right? Over time. So tell yourself the truth. Don't tell yourself, I'll always be stuck. I can't get out of here. This is just my life, because that is a lie from the pit of hell. That is only the truth if that's what you desire. If you don't want that, you just tell yourself this: I'm stuck for now, but there is a way out. I just need to identify it and formulate a plan. What have we been talking about? We've been talking about how to manage your expectations. Identify and write down, if you can do so safely, each expectation that you had around this relationship. Next to it, identify the evidence that supports that expectation. Um, do they even have what it is that you are seeking, that you are needing? And if they do have it, are they both willing and able to release it to you? And if either one of those answers is no, you'll never access it. This is Apostle Cheryl with Judah's Roar Domestic Violence Awareness Initiative. You are amazing. You are a survivor. You are a thriver. You are a warrior. Okay? That's it. That's the truth. You be safe out there. Blessings to you.